Okay guys, welcome to The Art of Relish, and this is my first commentary video. So today I will be looking at Procreate, and I've actually downloaded a couple of brush sets which I will be looking at over a couple of sections. So this is my imported set, and I actually just need to quickly rename that a moment and move that up, hopefully. There we go. So in this one, which is obviously Greorg's set from his multitude of sets of brushes. This is the blank outliner and the sketch brush, which I see these as like a kind of comic sketch brush. And I'm just going to quickly do a couple of tests on these, then I'm going to show you a little speed painting of what I've done. So obviously this is something that I've wanted to do for a while, and I'd really appreciate it if you guys, like the video and left a comment, see what you'd like to see next and such. So we're going to start off with the sketch brush, and I'm going to use just a black for the moment. And the canvas size I'm using is a 1080 by 1080 square piece, as it's quite a nice versatile one to work with. Now, you do have a bunch of different brush sizes, if I go with my razor, ranging from quite a large brush size all the way down to a kind of a mid size to a really fine line. Now, if I start off on the highest, you can see that if I use the tip of my pencil, it does quite a big splodge, and you can even, if you wanted to get quite a nice gradient, move all these and apply pressure to make it look a bit nicer, kind of like an airbrush pencil. So I'm going to use a medium size now and just run over it. So if you see how much pressure difference I'm adding here, there's a difference there. And with the medium size, it's a nice example. The medium is dependent on the pressure, kind of a similar situation. And you can also use the side again with the pressure to add shading. And one of my personal, which is the color I used for the sketch that I'm going to show you, is a purple, where it adds a nice little purple gradient here, which is especially good for your cartoons and such, especially if you're, for example, going to draw an eye. You can see that you can start with really light strokes, and with the opacity of the brush, you can actually see that I can just go over it in a more thicker set. Here. And then if I wanted to add a bit of shading to it, I can just get my pencil and just very lightly shade down the side of it here. And then add a bit of shading onto the bridge of the nose and above the eye if you wanted to. And then if I wanted to colour in the eye, I can just very lightly do that. And then increase the brush size if I wanted to add a bit of a overlay here. And you can see, even though the colours are very faint, you can get quite a lot of depth into this. Now, it's been a while since I've picked up the pencil, so I'm going to give the good old circle trick a go. So I'm just going to draw a very light circle here. And then I'm just going to try my best to add a little bit of shading here. Say if the light's coming from this angle here, down that way. So I'm just going to spin this around a minute and just use the flat edge of the pencil to add a little bit of shading. And I'm going to apply a little bit more pressure here to see how that works. And just go a bit lighter here, and then add a bit more of a darker tone here. Let's go over this a little bit. And it's not the best at the moment, but you can see how if I just add a couple gradients here, then try and blend that in. And then if I use the smudge tool, you can actually, if I want to smudge it with the current brush, I can kind of smudge all these into, make a little bit of a darker undertone here, or overtone. Not too good with my terminology, but yeah, I'm quite impressed with these brushes, and you can actually pick these up for free, which I will leave the link in the video for you guys to actually see that. So then, in terms of your cross hatching, like you can use like your light strokes and go into this. So then, if you wanted to just give it a bit of a shade underneath, so you can cut out the white, you can. So this is what the brush is here, and then we've also got the blank outliner, which you know you can. Again, it's got the same size, but this is a more opaque brush. Still not as opaque. So if I, you know, apply the pressure, you can see the opacity goes up, but then if I add more pressure, I can colour over it, and you can still see underneath here, still that line of darkness. And this, again, if I lower my brush size and go for the eye thing again, you can see you can create quite thick lines, which I think if you're kind of creating a more detailed piece, you tend to use this. But if you're going for more quick sketches, you can just use the other brush. But you can see there that it's actually quite good for adding the shading and stuff in conjunction with this brush, just to get that nice bit of a feel. Oh. So now that we've had a bit of a test with the brushes, I'm going to jump to a speed painting where I'll only be using the sketch brush, and I'll just show you how you can kind of work it with that. Okay guys, so I've just finished the sketch that we've just done to test out the Greorg's blank outliner. In fact, no, not the blank outliner, the sketch brush. So when looking at this piece, I just went for like a, your cartoonish woman, throwing up a peace sign there, and I thought it really turned out quite nice. I'd say it was only a quick, quick rough sketch that I just did whilst I was a little bit bored. I thought that the level of detail that you could actually fit in with just that one brush was pretty good, especially when using a purple outline, as you're quite limited. So if you take a look at the shading, it's actually pretty nice with that more transparent brush. So as you can see here on the hairline, there's quite a darker level of shading, and then still using the same brush, I managed to actually fit the the visual of the separation line between the top of the head and the bun. And even like when you compare it to the shading on the face, like it's a lot darker, and that's just by using not even pressure, but just going over a couple of times with the brush. And if I really had to sum this very simple two brush set, I'd say it's pretty simple but pretty effective when creating little pieces like this. And I'll definitely be looking at getting other brushes like that. And you can actually, if you used the sketch brush as well as the blank outliner, if I just pick up the pencil, you can actually, if you wanted to, if I just make a new layer here, lower the size, you could, if I wanted to make this just a little bit thicker and darker, I can really do that with this brush set. And then if I wanted to emphasize the the hairlines here, especially if I wanted to go in more detail with the piece, I could do. That's where I'd really start to use these two brushes in conjunction with one another. But if I look at that now, you see there's a lot more depth already just by that one simple change of brush. And obviously when I picked up this brush, I was just looking at, just your, oh, I just want some sketching brushes, and I found this set of brushes from Greorg, and I will leave the link to go and get these down below. But I would definitely recommend these, especially if you're just an artist starting out on Procreate, as you can really get a different level with these brushes. Now, you also do have your other sets, such as like your manga set from Greorg, where you get different tapered brushes and your thicker outline brushes. But they're, like it says, they're more, dedicated to the manga style, as opposed to the more cartoonish, comic bookish styles, which I also do have a set for there. Now, I would recommend, if you wanted to, supporting the artists that make these brushes and definitely paying for them. But if you can, try and find some free brushes just to get yourself started out. I would really, really recommend that. Now, that's everything for today's video, guys. Please feel free to like, subscribe, and even leave a comment if you want to see anything in the future. And this has been the Art of Radish, and I will see you guys later.